Doctors recommend that adults over the age of 40 should masturbate furiously while listening to Comedy Bronze.
Alright. 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
We're okay.
Hey.
Okay. First things... Shut up.
Oh.
First things first. We need to sort out, like, the intro. Like, the order of... Because we both just go, at the same time.
What's wrong with that?
It's disorganized. It's unprofessional.
Really? I thought it looked very professional.
I think one of us should introduce the thing.
You think?
And then
Do you?
I think that, yes.
Well, that's worrying.
I think that one of us should introduce the thing and the other one should say, yes, and my name's Frank, and I'm also here.
There's no one, Frank.
So you want to take another run at it?
Well, like, from the beginning, or... Start the recording again?
No, but we'll just do it again, but we'll leave all this in.
Oh, okay. Alright, well, welcome to Comedy Bronze. I'm Sean.
And I'm Chris.
Yep. And we're here.
And welcome to Comedy Bronze.
Okay, well now
I'm Chris.
And I'm Sean. And welcome to Comedy Bronze.
I'm Chris. And this is Sean.
Yep.
Welcome to Comedy Bronze. Oh, I pulled your thing out.
Yeah, what?
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 Alright, so the topic of today is Skyrim.
Yeah. Go on then.
Okay.
Talk about things you hate, which is...
There's a lot I hate, but there's some I don't. I like to frame it more of a discussion rather than just me talking for 45 minutes.
All right, well
things
then...
that have annoyed me.
Look, I'll probably end up agreeing with a lot of the things that annoyed you, because there's a lot of shit in that game that annoys me too. But the idea of the game I find incredibly charming.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm just watching my waveform in the Audacity.
Oh, that's how I spend every hour we do this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
like watching
Skyrim
downloads
is a game that is massively ambitious in its intention and really conservative in its execution. In a lot of ways. Let's talk about some positive things. You played and beat Skyrim long before I did. I've had it for years, and I only just decided to finish it last week.
I feel like when Skyrim came out, which is when I played it, I was one of the few people who was actually trying to just beat the game and not spend, a large portion of their life becoming the king of Skyrim.
You don't even... yeah, I agree.
Because, it takes forever to get anything done in that game.
Yes and no. I beat the main quest in a day.
Oh, pardon me. The main quest does not take long.
No, the main quest is very, very short, very unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Very crap in a lot of ways. Don't like the main quest. Don't like most of the side quests either.
All right.
Don't like anything, really.
Okay. So
I'll tell you what, though.
All right.
The most memorable thing that happened to me in Skyrim,
yeah,
and really the only thing I can think of to praise, is there's this quest where you go to some Nord ruins, and there's a guy outside. For me, he was dressed as an Imperial. I think he dresses as whichever faction you choose at the start.
Yeah, probably.
So he's dressed as a member of the Imperial Legion. He says, "You there, my name is Captain Whatever, and there's an important artifact in this tomb that I need to get for the Empire, and I'm drafting you to go in there and get it." And you say, "Yes, sir," and you go in and you fight through the dungeon as you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you get the thing, and then you come out. And you come out, like, above the dungeon entrance, because the dungeons all have separate entrances and exits.
Yeah.
Or some of them do. And you see the guy down there, but this time he's dressed as a Stormcloak, and he's talking to a Nord, giving them the exact same spiel. And then he goes, "Oh, wait, I can explain this." And then the objective is kill this guy.
Yeah.
Right. However, this was immediately ruined by one of Skyrim's many, many technical problems. Because he's a plot NPC, he was immortal.
Ah, right.
So I had to kill him like 6 times, and he'd just go down on one knee, and then eventually he'd pop. Then he'd pop back up. Then he'd go down on one knee. Then he'd pop back up, and finally he decided to stay dead.
I hate those.
I hate those.
Well, one part of the game I did like was one of the second or third times that I ran through it just to see, like, because I ignored the main quest entirely, and I was just like, I'm going to set my own quests. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. I decided to become the most powerful person in Skyrim, and I leveled up 2/3 of every skill there was to full, to 100. So, like I could punch people's brains out. It was incredible. And then I decided to just destroy entire towns, and I was just going to become the god of destruction.
Yeah, I decided to do that, but I only needed to level up one skill.
What was that?
That skill was Conjuration. Storm Atronachs break the game to a hilarious degree.
Really?
Yeah, well, you know, there are three types of Atronachs. There are Flame, Frost, and Storm.
Yeah.
And they all have attacks and they have spells. The Storm Atronach's basic spell is Chain Lightning.
Ah.
Which is an instant cast.
I see where this might be going.
And Storm Atronachs are immune to lightning, so if you have two of them, which I did, they can bounce lightning off each other into targets, and they basically never miss.
Mm.
And also, they're so cheap to summon that as soon as they die, you just make more. So, in my run that I just did to beat the game, I won every fight by just summoning, just throw Storm Atronachs at it, and they kill everything. The end.
Yeah, nice.
That
sounds fun.
Specific complaints. All right, we'll get the simplest one out of the way. I used one mod for my playthrough.
I haven't used any mods yet. But go on. What was your mod?
The mod I used was Sky UI.
What does that do?
It fixes the UI.
Oh, that's right. Because I remember when we first started playing when it came out. Was it like 3 years ago now?
Yeah, I think it's 2012, 2013. It's 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It's a while.
Yeah. I remember that you stopped playing explicitly because of the menu system.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't shut up about it.
I stopped playing for a couple of reasons.
Oh.
I originally got Skyrim for PC, but my PC wouldn't run it for reasons I never understood. So I went out and got the Xbox version, and the reason I stopped playing is because I went a stealth build, which turned out to be completely ineffective at killing dragons, and also completely ineffective at clearing most dungeons because of the way they're designed. So stealth was kind of not good by itself, and that annoyed me, so I eventually just sort of gave up after having done the Thieves quest. But the other main reason I gave it was because of the UI, specifically we're just going to express everything as a single column list.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So sure, you may have 10,000 things in your inventory, but just look at it this way. Sky UI fixes that. It puts things as like sortable lists of things, and it divides everything up into categories much more intelligently, and
so the way it should have been.
Yeah, it generally makes the game not a complete pain in the ass to play.
That sounds good.
That is good. I refuse to use any other mods because...
Even the Macho Man Randy Savage one?
The Macho Man Randy's... Oh, I'll tell you what, though. I thought of a mod I want to make.
Ooh, what?
I call it the Sweeney Todd mod.
Okay.
And what happens is, whenever you initiate a backstab...
Oh, right.
That will go into like the pre-done animation thing.
Yep.
When you insta-kill them, it just plays the clip of Johnny Depp going, "Benjamin Barker!"
That could also be interchangeable with Lex Luthor.
Yes!
Lex Luthor!
That's for two-handed weapons.
Yeah.
If you get the Lex Luthor mod and the Benjamin Barker mod.
That'd be great. But I first saw the Randy Savage mod when Steam Train were playing Skyrim. And seeing an incredibly twisted model of a dragon wearing sunglasses and going, "Oh yeah!" across the sky was hilarious.
It was. I mean, I don't think there exists a mod that will make Skyrim a game that I consider good. That's not fair. Skyrim's good. It's not great. There's not a single. I don't think there's even a collection of mods that will.
I think it suffers.
Fix all the problems I have with it.
Yeah, I think it suffers from the same problem that we had with Fable.
No, it suffers from similar and additional problems.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when Fable was coming out, you and I were still in high school, and we were super excited for it because it was.
Oh yeah, it definitely suffers from the overhype problem.
Well, it was overhype in the direction that we wanted it. It was like, oh, this is a game where it's finally like everything we want in a game.
You can go anywhere. You can do anything. You can make real choices that will matter. And Peter Molyneux lied to us all, and Bethesda lied to us all again.
Like they do.
But to a lesser extent. I mean, the disappointment of Skyrim is nowhere near the disappointment of Fable.
I think they're just very different disappointments because.
I think they're the same but different in magnitude.
Well, with Skyrim, I was just like, well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a game, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to be just as disappointed as the last Elder Scrolls game that I played, and I thought it was going to be really good.
Yeah, but Oblivion's actually terrible.
I didn't like Morrowind either.
Morrowind has not aged well visually or interface-wise, but I think Morrowind is good. It's certainly better than Oblivion.
Well, I don't know whether or not it was See, I don't know what everyone was talking about with Morrowind. I never enjoyed it. I got it a month after it came out, and I installed it, and I tried playing it, and it crashed 20 times in a row. And I said, you know what? Fuck this game.
So you never even played Morrowind?
No. And then like a year later, I had a better computer and a different operating system, so I was like, oh, you know what? I'll try again. And you know what happened? It did the same thing. It crashed 20 times in a row. Mind you, this was a different copy. The first one was physical. This one was digital. I had bought it again just to see whether or not it was it was a problem with the disc. I thought.
So the answer is no. You've still never played Morrowind.
I have never played more than 45 minutes of Morrowind because that was the furthest I ever got in.
Oh wow!
Before something went wrong. I don't know how two different computers with different operating systems and different versions of the game gave me eventually the same result, which was crashing all the time.
I'm going to say because Morrowind was a buggy mess, like every game Bethesda's ever released.
Yeah. So I played that, and then I played Oblivion, and I was like, well, this is just. Admittedly, I played it on the Xbox. So I was just like, well, this is just Morrowind, but it looks a little bit better, and it doesn't do that thing that was annoying me last time, which was crashing. And then Skyrim came out, and I was like, well, you know, I've got a PlayStation, and I only have like 2 games for it, so I'll get Skyrim.
May as well.
Yeah, may as well.
Fill up the shelf.
Maybe they'll get it right this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
I mean, the things that people like about Morrowind are Morrowind has a really unique setting and a lot of lore and history, and like it really rewards going out and looking at stuff.
Well, they do a similar thing in Skyrim.
I disagree. One of my favorite games of all time is The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker.
Yes.
And
you said that on the previous.
I'm just restating.
Okay.
A large reason that I love that game is because the experience of sailing around the ocean and never knowing what you could find. Like every island is a new mystery, a new adventure. There could be anything amazing over the next horizon. Skyrim sort of captures that feeling a little bit for me, but it is completely ruined by the knowledge that the thing over the horizon will be another dungeon full of interchangeable bad guys and loot I don't care about.
Okay. No, I hate to do this to a game that you really love, but it's probably because about the time I played it in. You played, so I can probably pull the nostalgia card on you a little bit here. With Wind Waker, and I'm still saying that I really loved it. I played it for the first time on the Wii U. Because I didn't have a GameCube when I was...
Played the shit version with the wrong shading.
It still looked really nice.
It looked incorrect, but carry on.
Okay, it looked really nice to me. And it played really well.
That's because you're garbage and you like garbage.
Okay. But the thing you've just said about going into another dungeon and getting a lot of crap loot, that's got that in Wind Waker 2, where you get those... stupid, like, was it like the butterfly wings and...
Oh, the little collectible things.
Yeah, I was just...
Yeah, but all those have a purpose, which is working towards some sort of game goal. And most... I can't remember the loot of every single island, but they usually had like a puzzle of some kind.
But they were, Legend of Zelda
dungeon.
They were Legend of Zelda puzzles, so it's just, like push block to this part here, jump on block, shoot eye, walk into next room.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the game. I did, and I probably enjoyed it because I enjoy almost every Legend of Zelda game. And when I buy,
'cause you're a whore.
And when I buy a Legend of Zelda game, when I play a Legend of Zelda game, I go, right, this is what I'm expecting from a Legend of Zelda game. Maybe a couple of new bits and pieces here, but essentially it's going to be something about the Triforce, something about Master Sword, something about saving Princess Zelda, end of game.
Yeah, but the reason why Wind Waker was so cool is because it upends so many of those expectations.
And there's a boat.
That
talks, and he's the king of red dragons.
Alright, we're getting way off topic.
I don't think we're getting way off topic.
We are, because I want to complain about Skyrim, and I've done almost none of that.
We're going back around towards Skyrim.
Ah, we're getting there.
So, what I was saying is that because of my experience with all those games in the past, with Legend of Zelda, I knew what to expect. I didn't have that that wonder that you probably had because you played it when you were first, I don't know, 14?
No, you could not be more wrong.
Oh,
You literally couldn't. I played Wind Waker after I'd finished high school.
okay.
I think I was 17 or 18,
All right.
and I'd already played, I believe, Twilight Princess, and I'd played all the ones that came before.
Right.
Like, and I think it's better than all of them. Easily, it is the most creatively risky and enjoyable of the console Zeldas, apart from the stupid Triumph Fork nonsense.
Triumph Fork?
Oh, that's what the fish call the Triforce shards. The map decoding crap with Tingle at the end
Oh my god, that
is rubbish.
Well, apparently
It
they
also has
made that
it also
easier on
has
Wii U.
this easily top 2 best endings of a Zelda game. In fact, no, I think it has the best ending.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it actually succeeds in making Ganondorf sympathetic,
Well, yeah,
even as you drive a sword through his head.
there is that. Yes.
But the sense of exploration and faffing around and looking for stuff in that game, I think, works.
Well, I think
I don't think it works in Skyrim.
Okay. Well, they're apparently going for that in the new Legend of Zelda game about the exploration.
Well, let's hope.
But it's instead of being on a boat, they've expanded Hyrule Field and they've made the world quite large, and you just get to run around in all of Hyrule.
That's not as cool. I want a boat again. It's like the Assassin's Creed problem. Once you give us a pirate ship, you can't take it away and expect the games to be as good.
I think the pirate ship thing is a bit different to the Wind Waker ship. Because on the pirate ship,
little.
I get to ram into other ships and blow them up and jump across decks and sword fight people and then jump back and explode their ship.
The only way Wind Waker could possibly have been better is after, like halfway through the game, you then can either take out the King of Red Dragons or the pirate ship that Tetra and the rest were on, cruise around on that thing, engage giant Ganon frigates. Oh, that'd be cool.
I was looking forward to stuff like that. Maybe some. I was also kind of hoping that I did kind of know how it was going to pan out while I was playing it, because it's been out for 15 or so years. I was hoping that the King of Red Dragons would kind of level up and get bigger.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Like for every Triforce shard you collected, he harnessed some of that little power and got bigger.
Yeah, but then you'd have to,
Remodel them and...
Yeah, too much work. The last time we spoke about games, I was bitching about... We always talk about games, the context of me bitching about them was Injustice.
Yeah.
And we talked about sticky friction.
We did.
There's 2 types of friction.
Right.
In games that I think are worth distinguishing. The first is the good kind, which is stiction.
Yeah.
Which is
friction.
presentation oomph, basically, the way the game feels when you play it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the bad kind of friction, which is interface friction.
Right.
Which is you fighting the game to try and do things.
And
this is I think Skyrim's
Yeah.
biggest fault from a game design standpoint, which is that every single thing you want to do is made as tiresome and as difficult as possible by the interface.
Do you think with the interface they sort of just gaffer taped it onto the game at the end?
No, I think the interface was designed first, because the interface is basically the same as all the Elder Scrolls games are.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, bad.
Yeah.
Although usually you have a mouse and the ability to type things. I'll give an example. I mean, part of the reason I think the exploration part of Skyrim fails is that travel in that game is torturously slow.
It kind of is.
Even on a horse, it takes forever to get between places. And part of that contributes to making the world feel big, but it also makes the world feel annoying.
I don't feel like the horses are actually horses in that game.
Well, they can't run like a horse can. They can jog for maybe 10 steps and then they're out of stamina. It's bizarre.
I don't get it. Like, if you were doing that straight up the side of a hill, fine.
Oh, yeah, and also their physics are broken and they can climb mountains.
Yeah, but I know that. But I was talking about their stamina problem. Like, if you took 10 steps, you couldn't run directly up a mountain. I don't care how amazing the horse is.
Could be a magic horse.
Well, that's another thing. Why aren't there any fucking magic horses in that game?
Why is there so little magic full stop? I mean, The Elder Scrolls is set in a world where every single person has access to rudimentary magic at all times.
Yeah.
And yet the world is like this pre-industrial shit show where none of that is taken advantage of.
And the game is very, like, without any of those nice filter mods that I have seen around the place, the game is really brown.
The game isn't brown, it's grey.
Oh, okay, well my one was really brown.
Oh, the outsides are grey, the insides are brown.
Okay.
This is basically how it goes.
So what you're saying is that it looks like a diseased Swiss roll.
Yeah, kind of. On the subject of horses, there's actually a loading screen hint which says, horses in Skyrim are renowned for their ruggedness, and they make up for in endurance what they lack in sprinting ability or something.
So there's the dwarves of the equine world.
Yeah, there's like an explanation for why they're so slow and irritating. Fucking a-holes.
That tip screen was actually DLC.
Almost certainly. But speaking of interface friction, I mean, the basic interaction with the world is you walk around and you press A on things.
That is...
Which is not in itself terrible.
Well, I was going to say that's my biggest problem with the game is combat. I always just feel like
Okay, let's talk about the fucking combat.
I always just feel like I'm bouncing off shit. Because traditionally when I play a game like this, so a game in a fantasy setting, I don't tend to go with a caster class or a thief class first, or a thief or a caster type person. I'll go for the big chunky guy who just wades through people.
Yeah.
I love doing that. I love walking forward and chopping people's heads off. I like that. I'm not saying I dislike doing magic. I like doing that later on when I've figured out more about the game. But for my first playthrough, I just want to barrel through people. I want to make myself the biggest fucking muscly cunt in the world.
You want to be a slab of steel and muscle, rampaging. You want to be basically a freight train.
Yeah, I like that. And there are some games, very, very few, where I actually feel like that.
So how did Skyrim go with allowing you to fulfill your two-handed axe power fantasy?
I didn't. I just sort of stood there and went, and people died.
Yeah.
Or I'd walk forward and bounce off them.
Skyrim's combat is the most 1992 thing I've ever seen.
I don't understand how we can have combat like that on the systems that we have today.
Well, because that's the series has always had terrible combat.
Why don't they change it?
And that's what the fans want, or so they think. I mean, for anyone who hasn't played Skyrim, this is the way Skyrim combat works. You're in a first-person view, and you've got either you can have a weapon in each hand, or a spell in each hand, or a two-handed weapon, or a bow. Basically, you see your hands and you see what you're holding, and you say, "I want to stab that guy." So you walk up and you press a button, and you just sort of ineffectually slash the air. And if you are close enough to have struck him, he will take damage, presumably. Usually a pitifully small amount of damage because the game has weird ideas about how much health things should have.
Yeah.
If you want to actually do a decent chunk of damage, you need to do a power attack, which requires you to hold down the button and you wind up and then you wang them. The problem with this system is that the angle of your attack is locked as soon as you start readying the power attack.
Yep.
So unlike real life, where objects held above your head can be swung in any direction,
They can.
in Skyrim, the direction you can swing the object is predetermined when you choose to swing it. This makes... combat is physically painful. There's so much clicking and dragging and going and missing and
I think what honestly is the real problem is games like Dark Souls have ruined me for combat in other games.
Yeah. Skyrim has like a shield and a parrying system. I have never used it.
No, fuck that.
I can't imagine why. I just want the combat to end as soon as possible.
Oh.
And so that's why on my most recent playthrough, I just refused to engage in their terrible, broken, boring melee combat, and I played a caster and just threw Storm Atronachs at everyone. It was way more fun.
Well, that sounds like more fun. I ended up, on the most recent one, going all archery, so I could just headshot entire towns full of people from like a half a mile away.
Yeah, well, that's what I did on my original 360 character before I gave up. I went stealth archery build.
Oh, I didn't go stealth.
Oh, you got to go stealth, man. You get all the sneak attack multipliers.
Oh yeah, I kept that in. I just kept it for the sneak attack modifier. But as soon as one person noticed me, I had to be able to stand up and stab them.
Well, yeah, that was the problem, which made it especially useless for fighting dragons because they could always see you. So, in fact, let's just go through the things the game has on offer. Combat sucks and is a chore.
Mm-hmm.
What about crafting?
What
about enchanting?
I have still not done any of that. I've never done it. I've never thought about doing it. When I played the game for the first time, I was like, oh, I could make my own shit. And then I realized, oh, shit just falls out of everything. I won't bother.
Yeah, well, no, it's actually worse than that.
Oh, okay.
In fact, crafting, loot, and shopkeepers are all tied together in this triangle of shittiness.
Right.
The first immutable fact of Skyrim is that no gear worth having exists as a drop.
Right.
Practically. There are probably exceptions. There's probably good stuff. It's probably well hidden away. There's a couple of quest rewards that are not terrible, but by and large, the way to get the best shit is you level up your crafting skill and you build the best kind of armor, then you level up your enchanting skill and put the best enchantment on it. And that will generally be better than anything you can find for free in a dungeon.
Right.
So, all the things that you have that you find in dungeons exist only to be sold to shopkeepers for loot.
Yeah.
Sorry, for money.
Yeah.
However, Skyrim is designed by idiots, so shopkeepers have a finite gold pool. A very aggressively finite gold pool. Which means that you will end up with thousands of tons of shit that you can't use or sell sitting in the dresser drawer of the house you bought in Whiterun.
Oh, see,
which is what happened to me.
You've even done more of that part than I did. I don't even do that anymore. I don't pick up stuff. I look at it.
Well, I stopped picking stuff up because there was no point.
No, yeah, that's after the first go through. So the 2 or 3 other times I've played it, I just don't pick things up unless I look at them and they go, that is worth a lot of money. I will take that and sell that to the one person who has enough money to buy it.
The best thing about Sky UI is it adds a value per weight column
Ooh.
to the inventory screen, or to the loot screen.
That sounds helpful.
So you can immediately tell, like, oh, this is worth 1,000 gold, but it weighs 2 tons. Value per weight, 0.1. This gem is way better. I'll take that instead.
Yeah.
Crafting is an unimaginable chore because I think you can buy some components from vendors, but again, they only refresh every so often. You'll spend a lot of time waiting 48 hours for vendor stocks and gold to restock if you want to do that crap.
Well, can't you just go to sleep like I did whenever I had to do that?
What? No, I mean pressing the wait button.
Oh, right, okay.
And cranking it up to 24 hours and watching it tick down slowly, and then cranking it up to 24 again, because 24 is the max, even though 48 is the only useful long period of time to sleep for. To rest for. Actually, now I think about it, you can, like, take dungeon loot, then sell it, then buy materials, and craft good stuff, and enchant it, but oh my god, why would you bother?
Yeah,
So all that sucks. Enchanting is the worst, because filling soul gems is just a pain in the ass. The entire soul gem system is, again, straight out of 1992 and should really just go away.
I used to just find them all over the place.
Well, yeah, some of them are pre-filled as well, which is nice-ish, I guess. Again, I had a huge pile of them because I didn't do any enchanting.
Yeah. It's just crapshoot.
But the shit of it is... Oh, yeah, come on, you go.
I just find the whole thing to be a crapshoot. The only reason I play Skyrim now is just like, I want to play something that's close to what I want to actually do right now because I've got like 2 hours to fill, so I'll just do that.
Fair enough.
It's close enough to the experience that I want that I will waste time on it, but I'm not sitting down and going, right, I've got 16 hours today in which to do absolutely nothing. I'm going to play Skyrim for 16 hours. Because that's what I want to do.
Except that's not true. You just play World of Warcraft all day.
Not all day. I'm not doing it now.
You play WoW all day. Don't lie. Don't pretend you don't.
I don't play it all day.
On this week's ball-tightening episode of Dr. Quinn and the Mystery Twins.
How did he manage to shoot himself from the other room, Doctor?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to have to call some colleagues of mine.
Gosh, Billy, it sure is dark in this well. Not as dark as the soul of the man who committed this crime, Stevie. Let's get back to the doctor. Doctor, I'm pregnant, and I'm not sure who the father is. I think it might be one of the twins.
All this and much more, so stay tuned!
And we're back.
We are indeed back.
Comedy Browns.
Yep.
So another thing about Skyrim that I hate is the skill system.
Mm.
Specifically that Skyrim took the worst possible advice from Oblivion and was like, oh, I know, we'll have fucking enemy scaling with your character level. Right? I don't know if you noticed, but the more you level up, the stronger enemies get.
Yeah, I noticed.
This is true, which is fine if you're leveling up combat skills, but if you level up non-combat skills, which still contribute to your overall player level,
yeah,
you get pretty badly disadvantaged. It's not nearly as bad in Skyrim as it was in Oblivion. Like, in Oblivion, you can actually become weaker in relation to enemies by leveling up. Skyrim is a little gentler, but it's still a fucking stupid way to design a game.
Well, yeah, it's just it's punishing your player base for at the same. It's like rewarding them with one hand and slapping them in the face with the other.
Yeah. Skyrim is also weirdly numbers obsessed for things like a lot of spells say this only works on creatures up to level whatever.
Yeah.
But there's no way to tell creatures' levels.
No, you can't, because you mouse over them. It doesn't say like nighttime sleepy vamp level 6.
Yeah. So I guess, and some things scale to your level and some things don't. So you just got to kind of get. I mean, you could just try it on things and see if it works, and then you'll know. That's baffling. I hate the way health bars are represented in this game.
You mean all the same size and no percentages?
All the same size, no indication of how big they are, and most importantly, they shrink from both ends, unlike every other type of bar.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst, which makes it kind of hard to tell exactly how much of it is left once it's moved far enough from both ends.
I've thought of something that's just as useful, which would just be a series of numbers above their head that just changes to a different set of numbers. Like it says 300, and then it says 67, and then 56, and then the infinity symbol, and then just a pi. Not the symbol for pi, a pi.
An actual pie with little steam lines coming off it. I mean, say what you like about Destiny and Borderlands being boring, repetitive nonsense, which they are. But they make the sensation of knocking life off enemies feel very satisfying, and they make it extremely clear when you're dealing good damage or bad damage to them.
Yes.
Whereas compared to Skyrim, where it's just, oh, that minuscule red bar got a little bit smaller, I think.
Yeah.
The skill system is a holdover from, like, the older games. They kind of updated it in this one because they added in perks.
Yeah.
I can't tell whether just numerical increases in skills do anything, or whether you need to actually get a perk before you gain any benefit.
Oh, I just ignored the numerics, except for the fact that I have to have this number at 50 before I can have this thing that I actually want.
Yeah, I think for some of them it matters, like the crafting skills and enchanting. You can definitely do better stuff just with the number increase.
Well, that makes sense.
Without the perks. There are a number of skills that are pointless. Lockpicking is pointless because there is an item in the game which is an unbreakable lockpick.
Yep.
Which is not hard to get, and that invalidates lockpicking.
You don't even have to finish the Thieves quest to get it all.
No, in fact, you can only keep it if you don't finish the Thieves Guild quest.
Yeah.
Pickpocketing is nearly pointless because almost anyone you can pickpocket, you can murder, and also you can just save scum to get perfect pickpocketing anyway.
That's the one.
I mean, huge amounts of this game are broken by the fact that you can save and load at any time.
Yeah.
Which is just an unfortunate reality of, modern games on PCs. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have quick save and quick load. But, I mean, like, there are traps in dungeons which are instant death.
I think the thing is...
If you step on them, you will die. If there wasn't quick save and quick load, that would be monstrously unfair. But because there is quick save and quick load, it's just annoying.
I think their version of quick save and quick load feels too much like when you're playing like an emulated game and you're using like the save state function.
Oh, yeah, save states. That's what every quick save and quick load should feel like if it's running quickly. I don't think that's necessarily the reason why it's bad.
No, the only reason I'm comparing them is the fact that I only left in save states basically. I only ever used them if I knew I was going to fail. So it's just like, I'll just endlessly repeat this cycle until I get the answer I want. Yeah,
and that's the whole game, really. Any segment that's difficult, you can... Oh, no, I'm not going to complain about saves making things too easy. There's so much other fruitful stuff to bitch about. The thing I've realized now is basically you can beat the game with more or less trivial ease by just picking a skill and leveling it to 100 and then exploiting the things that it gives you.
Like shouting people off cliffs.
not tied to any skill, but sure.
It's tied to how many cliffs there are in the game, and your ability to find said cliffs.
And your ability to say Fusrada.
Yeah.
Side note, I've only ever played female characters in Skyrim, so when I heard everyone running around going, Fusrada! I'm like, that's not how it's said. Because the female version of it is Fusrada!
Oh.
Which is slightly different. And it wasn't until later I found out. Yeah, whatever. The game incentivizes stupid behavior. I'll give you 2 examples.
Shouting people off cliffs?
No, that's fun behavior. This is stupid behavior. On my Conjurer, I spent roughly an hour repeatedly casting Soul Trap on a dead wolf. The reason for this is that's the most efficient way to level Conjuration.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
Oh, crap.
The most efficient way to level Illusion, repeatedly cast Muffle on yourself.
Okay.
The most efficient way to level Destruction, I don't know if one exists.
Doesn't it just set fire to everyone?
No, that takes forever.
Oh.
That's the thing about the skill system. If you actually, if you just say, I want to specialize in one-handed weapons, and I'm going to use one-handed weapons in every fight, you will never get to 100 points. It takes so freaking long.
Yeah,
the only way to actually level up a skill deliberately and get the perks in the tree that you want is to do something mind-numbingly stupid, like repeatedly soul snare a dead dog. Or I think weapon skills used to go to High Hrothgar and smack one of the Greybeards around because they're immortal.
Yes.
All that stuff. So the leveling system is dumb and it incentivizes boring behavior in order to get access to the good stuff, which then, once you've got it, breaks the game.
Yeah.
Thanks, Skyrim. Other things to complain about. Dragon Rend is crap.
Which one's that one again?
That's the ultimate shout, the dragon killing shout.
Or it doesn't actually kill them?
Doesn't actually kill dragons. The actual wording of it says, forces a dragon to land.
I don't understand what they keep going on about it. Sorry, I've just remembered everything about it now.
Yeah.
They keep going on about it through the first half of the game about how no one ever uses it because you shouldn't have that much power and blah de blah de blah. I don't understand. I can understand when you use it on Alduin, the big daddy dragon, it doesn't kill him straight away. I get that. That's fine because he's the big daddy dragon. But if I'm just wandering around and I'm 2/3 of the way through the game and a dragon rocks up and I dragon rend him, he should explode!
He should explode, or it should blow his wings off or something. Like a dragon that has been rent, right, should not be able to get up and fly away.
No.
In fact, the only dragon that Dragon Rend even does what it says it does properly on is Elduin. Because the only time you fight Elduin is on the top of a mountain, which is an enclosed area.
Yeah.
And he can stand basically anywhere on it. So when you shoot it, he basically just drops like a stone.
Yes.
And then you run over to him and attack him. I was using it on, in the last dungeon before you go fight Elduin the second time. There's an area, it's like this big ziggurat.
Yeah, I remember.
And you start at the bottom and you climb your way up, and dragons are strafing you the entire time.
Yeah.
So this dragon I'm like, Dragon Rend, come in here and fight me. And he flew up to the top of the ziggurat and landed there. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Dragon Rend sucks, and it should kill dragons more or less instantly. It doesn't even hurt them. Like, it inflicts no damage.
It doesn't make any sense. Don't use the word rend in the name of it if it's not going to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Rend is a hurty word.
The game talks shit up endlessly, and it turns out to be nonsense. Like, the Nightingales are all badasses. No, Mercer's a punk, and the Nightingale equipment is crap. Dragon Rend is really dangerous. No, just sort of knocks dragons down if they feel like landing.
It should be called Dragon Punch.
It should be called Dragon Push.
Yeah. Dragon Shove.
Dragon Lick.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking...
Dragon
Merune's Razor is a Daedric artifact, right?
Yeah.
And it has chance on hit to instantly kill target. I use that as my primary weapon back when I played a Thief on the Xbox for like 20 hours. Never went off.
What's the chance? Like less than 1%?
It's never stated. I believe it's a 1% chance or something that someone figured out. The game it's so afraid to give the player cool shit, and it says things are great, and then it gives them to you, and they're really mediocre. And then you can get unimaginably cool shit on your own just by power leveling a skill to 100 and laughing that the game wasn't designed to deal with it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there are these... the only reason I actually played Skyrim again is because I wanted to finish the Dragon Priest mask quest.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not even an explicit quest. In fact, it is one of the coolest pieces of just, like, situational storytelling in the game. Where you go to the ruins of Labyrinthian, and you find this wooden mask next to it, like what looks like a ruined altar of some kind.
I remember.
And you put it on... I know, I'm just telling the audience. And you put it on, and the room vanishes, and it's replaced by a room that looks very similar, but it's not in disrepair, and the altar is fixed, and you see that there are 8 busts on it, with empty faces.
Yes.
And you go and you shortly after you fight the first Dragon Priest and you get his mask. And if you go back there and use the busts all have the names of Dragon Priests. This is important, otherwise you wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So the first one you kill is Morokai, and you go back and you use the Morokai bust and it puts the mask on. And you go, oh, I meant to go and get the masks and put them on the busts. And right, there are 8 of these things, and they're spread all over the world. And the very last one you can't even get until you beat the main quest. It's fighting him as part of the main quest.
Yeah.
The final part of the main quest. So I do the main quest, which I'll complain about the ending of in a second, and I finally have all my 8 masks, and I go back to the thing, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so cool. What am I going to get? Is it going to combine all the 8 masks? Because the masks all have different, like, little effects.
Yeah.
Some of which are cooler than others, but most of them aren't really worth replacing your headgear with. Ironically, Morokai, I think, is the first one, is actually the best for a caster.
Right.
Is it going to combine them? Is there going to be an armor, a weapon, a secret? What is here? And you... Oh my god. You put them all on, right? And the altar is 4 busts to a side. In the middle, there is a statue of a dragon's head. And you put all the masks on, and the head of the dragon just flips up. Like, it's almost comical. It's just like, bloop. And inside is a 9th mask.
Okay.
The effect of the 9th mask is the absolute worst words in Skyrim, because every item with this on it is crap. Percentage chance
Okay.
to heal you, knock enemies away, and spawn a ghostly dragon priest. All those things are cool,
Yeah.
right? All those things are cool
Yeah.
when you fall below 40% health.
Oh.
To put this into perspective, I am a mage character who has never increased his HP. I have the default HP value of 100.
Right.
So anything strong enough to reduce me to 40% health will most likely kill me outright.
Yeah.
And that mask is fuck all use to me. And when I'm not being hit, I've given up the plus 100 magicka or whatever I had on my headpiece. And so what I eventually did was I just gave the mask to Lydia, my follower, and now because she can't die, so people will just stand there hitting her when she's down, and eventually it'll go off, and I'll get a dragon priest, and they'll all explode. But that's abusing game mechanics in order to make the item cool. Like the reward for this huge long quest, which I remind you can't get until you've beaten the game.
Yeah.
Is this really piss-out artifact that doesn't really do anything?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Like, if you're going to have to beat the main story of the game, so obviously they're expecting at this point, okay, cool. We expect the player who's beaten the game and now they're going back in, and this is replay value. So it's about becoming the biggest badass in the game.
If
now.
I wasn't cheesing the game with Atronachs, can you imagine how cool my headpiece would be if I'd actually crafted an enchanted one?
Oh yeah.
Like, I would find that mask to be an insultingly paltry reward if I'd actually take the time to make something good.
I don't understand why you've taken time to do all of this, and you should be rewarded with something that's really cool. Why don't you put on the mask and you become like the Mask, as in the Jim Carrey film?
Yeah, why doesn't it give you a go like that? The game rewards boring, repetitive nonsense like crafting good equipment or casting soul snare on wolves, and it punishes you for all the interesting things the things that might be interesting, like exploring dungeons and doing quests and stuff. Just laughs at you and gives you shit.
Yeah.
The loot of the game is completely out of touch with the gameplay.
I don't understand how people can think it is the best game in the world. I can understand how they can be in love with the idea of the game, like the promises that the game gives you when it was originally posited to us 5 years ago, or however long it was. When they were like, you will get to be this kick-ass dude who's like part dragon, you can shout people to death. It's going to be great. You're going to walk around. You get to be a Viking and shout people to death. It's going to be fantastic.
I was a lizard actually. Everything's much funnier if you're a lizard or a cat.
Yeah, I know all that. But when the game was originally posited to you, I think the trailers had you look like a Norn, and you had the Viking helm and all that sort of shit. And I was just like, Vikings and dragons. That sounds pretty cool. I can get behind that. I love How to Train Your Dragon. I'm gonna love this.
Yeah, I mean, on the back of the box.
Why isn't there a How to Train Your Dragon mod? Is there a How to Train Your Dragon mod?
I'm sure there is a mod
I
that
need to download
replaces the
that.
dragons with toothless, but then you can't ride them. So what's the point?
Well,
One of
why
the
isn't
selling points on the back of the box, I
Yeah.
think. Hang on,
Okay.
I may have the box.
All right.
Yes, there's the box. Here we go. No.
No. Okay.
It's
You
not on
just-
the back of the box.
You just made it up, or
One of the selling points was fight dragons in the air and on the ground. Right, that
where
was
did it say in the air?
That's that. You never fight a dragon in the air. The dragons in this game are pretty lame. When they're in the air, you can't affect them unless you have storm atronachs. Hint, hint. But on the ground, they're just basically a big sack of hit points that will insta-kill you if you get too close.
Like I love
The
dragons.
game is way too clumsy for anything to seem exciting.
Yes.
Like, you know the scene where you capture the dragon in the Dragon's Reach, so you can
Yep.
force him to take you to Elduin?
Yeah. Cool idea.
Yeah, so what's meant to happen is you're meant to lure him inside, and this thing drops down and grabs him.
Yep.
He refused to come inside, for me,
Right.
and when the thing eventually dropped, he was really far off to one side. So, like, the yoke fell down, passed through his neck, and then locked, like, easily 2 meters away from him, and then he just sort of gently drifted over until he was in the right position.
That happens so much in that game.
The game has, like, the main quest has, like, 4 or 5 cutscenes, virtually every one of which had some kind of problem with it.
Oh, hell yeah.
For my playthrough. The game is a technical mess. The worst one is when you finally use the Elder Scroll and you go back in time to see the first time Elduin has got defeated. The thing just just locked in the cutscene. It never continued.
Although
Everyone just
to be-
stood there waiting for Elduin to arrive so they could fight him, and he never came.
to be completely honest, Chris, about stuff like that, cutscene problems always seem to happen to you. Like it doesn't matter what the game is.
Yeah,
you always seem to suffer cutscene problems.
I do seem to be cursed with cutscene problems. Maybe I can't blame Bethesda for the gypsy I wronged, but I really...
Did I kill a baby in a previous life?
It just occurred to me that this is probably not very funny. It's literally just me complaining, but I don't care.
No, it doesn't matter. Look, no, I
Come
understand
on.
all that.
Come on,
I
there
understand.
are like 4 or 5 points in the story that have to work technically, and if you can't guarantee that they will, you are being paid too much.
Well, yeah.
Alright, the fucking main quest. Bethesda suck at
Yeah.
storytelling. Like, I don't see how that could even be disputed. They,
No.
they suck at intentional storytelling.
Yeah.
There are stories in the game that I want to hear and I want to find out about, and almost none of them are explored. For example, I understand you can get various followers, right?
Yeah.
The only
You
one
can.
I get is Lydia because she's easy to get, and they just give her
Yeah.
to you at the start. Right, and so Lydia will follow me around for the next 20 hours, and I will learn nothing about her. And she'll never want to go anywhere or do anything. She's just essentially a device for transferring damage to enemies. And
And you can make her carry stuff.
I can make her carry stuff.
Mhm.
And virtually every character in the game is as boring as that or worse.
Yep.
The biggest slap in the face is that the final battle between you and Elduin in the afterlife
Yep.
is the sides are Elduin on the baddies, on the good side is you, not your follower who you can't bring to Sovngarde,
Yeah.
and 3 random people you just met.
Yep.
No competent storyteller would say, oh yeah, that's a good way to end the plot. The climactic battle between you, just some guys, and the baddie. What are you even doing, Bethesda?
Hey, those guys over there, standing by the swords. Quick, come help me.
And I mean, I understand that the game is largely non-linear, and it's difficult to say, well, people might not be alive at the end, blah, blah, blah. You could just say, like, every person you meet and help could potentially show up in Sovngarde at the end. Maybe, oh my god, I just thought of this. Maybe there could be characters you liked and got attached to and who were unfortunately killed as part of their plot. Maybe they could come back at the end.
Well, I don't see why they couldn't,
In the
because
afterlife.
you're in
Well,
the
they-
fucking afterlife.
They actually couldn't because Alduin eats every soul. No one has gotten into the afterlife in 100 years because Alduin just eats them all.
Except for that one guy who guards the bridge back there, who tries to beat the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, that guy's lame. But whatever, that's a stupid plot point anyway, and they could have made it so some people got through. The especially wily or strong.
Yeah.
That final moment is so anticlimactic and shitty, and they could easily have made it pay off better.
Well, they could have, yeah. And then my problem with that is I understand all the storytelling problems, and I did have that. But my problem was when you beat him, and then it's just like, okay, thanks for saving the world.
Skyrim doesn't have an ends credit sequence.
Yeah. What do you want to do now? There's some other things over there you could go kill, or we could just stand here and touch each other.
Yeah, the ending of the game, or the ending of the main quest at least, is fairly unsatisfying.
It's incredibly anticlimactic. Even
is.
if you just thought about the fact that, cool, I just killed the big daddy dragon. What now? What now?
Now you can go and become the leader of the Thieves Guild, or the leader
Well, I
of the
could have done that
Mages
before.
Guild.
I could have done that before.
I actually don't know
I chose to not do that.
if there are any other guild quests, because those are the only two I ever did.
Yeah, but my problem is that, you could go and do all that now. It's like, yeah, I know I can do all that now. I know I could do that before. I chose to not do that. I wanted to do this.
Yeah, what is my reward?
And you haven't rewarded me
Shove it
for...
up your ass.
Yeah, you haven't given me, a cool final cutscene. You haven't given me the satisfaction of seeing credits roll. You haven't even, given me a reach around. Come on.
Well, they did give you 2 powerful shouts, I think.
They don't feel powerful.
No, I mean they don't. Well, you can summon the dude from Sovngarde, and you can summon the dragon, I think. But yeah, I never used them. I just stopped playing. I was like, oh well, this is over.
Yeah.
I feel like I've covered everything. So, in summary, no part of the game works. It's not enjoyable to play because the interface is so awful. There's no plot you can attach yourself to because the storytelling is ham-fisted or absent.
Well, yeah.
Alternately. Fucking NPC invulnerability. This is something I want to talk about.
Right.
There are huge numbers of people I want to kill.
Yes.
Because they've annoyed me. I want to kill Brynjolf of the Thieves Guild, even though I know he's ultimately not the villain of that story, because he's a knob. I want to kill the Thelmore contingent.
Oh, yeah.
They're all dicks. I want to kill all of them. I want to kill lots of people. And you can't. They're all just invulnerable. You can reduce them to 0 HP and then they just get back up. Why?
Yep.
Why? Why can't I kill these people? Oh, well, then you can't do their quest. Well, yes, but let me make that choice. Maybe make their murder have repercussions. I don't know, Bethesda. Figure it out.
Make me find out far too late that I've now fucked up the last part of the main quest because I killed that one guy who knew where the map was to go to the thing.
Yeah, in fact,
And he's the only guy I knew. And now I killed him six months ago because he didn't have anything good to pickpocket. So I slit his throat.
oops, fucked it up.
Yeah.
Oh, other minor gripe, the Elder Scroll, which is meant to be like an obscenely powerful artifact, is used for one thing and one thing only.
I think it would have been more useful if I just threw it at people.
Yeah. The thing is to look back in time, and I think that's how you learn Dragonrand. Which is shit, so, that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, AI. I haven't bitched about AI yet.
Okay.
The AI in this game is pretty much appalling. The most common irritant is that there are traps in dungeons that will kill your followers, and there's no way to make them avoid them.
Yeah.
There may be some way to make them... Oh, wait, no. I think there is a way to specifically order your follower to go somewhere.
Right.
But it's like a dialogue option, and then you have to point somewhere, and it's just a giant pain in the ass. It would have been much easier to make them walk around it. You know those like swinging gate traps?
Oh my god, yes.
If I had $1 for every time my follower got hit by one, and then just sat there and kept getting hit by it because they were down.
Oh, I think I'm gonna get back. Oh, I'm not gonna get back.
I once, because I was clever, triggered like a stonefall trap, and all these boulders came down. I was like, okay, that's smart. Okay, I've triggered that. We're safe now. Atronachs go in. They died from the physics damage of just being near objects.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that.
Every time you walk past an object, you will gasp in pain.
Yeah. it took me a little while to figure out what was going on. I was
what's
like,
attacking
am I
me?
being... Yeah. Like,
No,
hang on. The world's attacking me.
The physics system is stupid. Its inclusion is baffling because it's not like there's any way to fling objects at people and hurt them.
Well, no, there's not.
It's just like in fact, the only reason I'm sure it's there is for stuff that falls on you as part of traps, and so they just decided to make every physical object capable of inflicting harm.
Yeah,
just because
they made it so it'll do that, but they make it so it doesn't work. So you walk over something that's been sitting there for 5 minutes, and you'll lose half your health all of a sudden. You go, what the fuck happened? That doesn't make any sense.
Bug-riddled shambles. So let's move to a more optimistic note.
Well, why don't we do that in the next segment?
Okay.
Okay. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Chip Gramfambler from the Oscars bathroom. I've waylaid a man who had a briefcase that was filled with envelopes on what I suspect to be the final award nominations for this year's Oscars. These have not been read out yet. There is still Seth MacFarlane is saying something terrible in the other room, but I think I can bring these to you early before anyone else. So let's have a look at the first one. I don't think I have much time till security gets here. I did make quite a mess in the hallway, so I'll try to read these as quickly as possible. Okay, oh wow, there's a lot of envelopes in here. All right, the first one here is the award for Best Andy Serkis, which goes to Andy Serkis. That's not really surprising. I mean, that makes sense. All right, what's next? Least intrusive product placement. I wasn't aware that was even a category, but apparently the award goes to that Qantas ad that was like 13 minutes of sobbing. What's a Qantas? Is that an Australian airline? I don't... All right. Oh, here we go. Best effort by a new director, which I think is also a new award. Lot of new awards this year, really. It goes to Oscar Crowe for his film The Corpse Botherer. That's a big win for Mr. Crowe there. All right. Oh, here we go. Most Hobbit films goes to Warwick Davis. That seems in poor taste. All right. Award for fewest King Kongs this year goes to Peter Jackson, and there's an additional award on the bottom of this piece of paper that just says lifetime thanks for stopping. The hotly contested category of most daring use of foam goes to Betty Boop's Christmas Pogrom. I'm not sure I caught that one, but daring foam apparently. The award for Edgar Wright's most recent film simply goes to World's End, which makes sense, but that didn't come out this year, so I'm not sure why it's in the thing. Sickest Rims. This award is sponsored by Doritos. Goes to Hunger Games 14: The Hungering. They have really burned through that series quickly, haven't they? Okay, this is less an award, this is more a directive. It simply says, stop making the 1995 film Hackers look accurate in its depiction of computer hacking. And the award goes to Arrow, which is a TV show and not a film. So I'm not really sure why. Okay, moving on. Oh, this is a long one. The most eco-friendly short subject or spoken word goes to Guardians of the Galaxy, which doesn't... Yeah, I'm... Where are the awards? Where are the real awards? There's just envelope after envelope of bullshit. What's down here? Oh, here we go. Film that's still fucking creepy 9 years later goes to The History Boys for its 109-minute depiction of apologizing for a pederast. Accurate, but not sure it warranted an award. The award for most opinions goes to a person, unlike most of the rest of these, goes to Shia LaBeouf for his role in Eagle Eye 2, It Happened Again. This award is just called Romantic Comedy. It's not Best Romantic Comedy, it just says Romantic Comedy. And the award goes to Tusk, the Kevin Smith independent horror... Oh no, I'm sorry, there's a correction. It is not Tusk by Kevin Smith, it is Tusk, the album by Fleetwood Mac. That wins Romantic Comedy this year. Most McConaughey goes to 2014, so I guess the year as a whole receives an award for just having a lot of, I assume, Matthew McConaughey in it. Most aerodynamic film director or designer handbags. Oh, for fuck's sake! These aren't real. These are not the real Academy Awards. This is a briefcase full of lies and nonsense. I killed a man in a theater hallway for phony awards. Well, this will probably be my final broadcast, and I'm going to prison. The end. Goodbye.
Hey!
And we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
All right, on a more positive note.
How will we fix it?
Yeah, how would we fix it? Well, I think Skyrim can
What?
be meh. The achievement, the hard work has been done.
Okay.
Skyrim has a huge world with tons of shit in it.
Yes, it does.
And just exploring that can be fun. So I think the biggest fixes, and the simplest fixes, is they just need to make the ways you interact with the world less terrible.
Right, okay.
So,
I'll buy it. How would they do that?
first point, the combat needs to be completely reworked.
So it doesn't feel like that everyone's a balloon person?
Yeah, I mean, with your 3 resources, stamina, magic, health, the game is basically Dark Souls but bad.
Dark Souls sort of set a bar with, at least in our opinion, with combat.
Of fantasy melee-focused combat, it is the fucking high watermark by far.
Oh, definitely. I do want to check out Lords of the Fallen because apparently the combat is quite similar.
Yeah, I did hear that.
I think I was the one who told you that.
You did.
And I want to check it out because it looks good and I like fantasy settings in games. So yes, a similar system in Skyrim to that, or take the ideas from Skyrim and Dark Souls and, I don't know, do what you paid for, people at Bethesda, and come up with a new interesting system which works in all these things and other stuff.
No, we're doing that. We're coming up with a new interesting system.
Oh, okay. So how have we come up with a new interesting system? Everything in the game is on fire. And,
no, well, that's a good start,
and you have
but
to punch it
I think
not
we can
fire.
do more.
Okay.
Everything is on fire and has AIDS.
Okay, and you have one fist that has anti-AIDS and another.
And the other fist that has anti-fire,
Yep.
which is just more fire.
No. You've got one fist. The anti-fire is that you have an asbestos fist. So you can go around giving people anti-AIDS and then cancer.
Awesome. I approve.
Yeah,
Cut, print, kill the pig.
exactly.
No, I mean, the stamina regenerates way too slowly.
Oh hell yeah.
And exhausts way too quick. I mean, even compared to the length of fights. Okay, well, just Dark Souls to Skyrim. Most enemies in Dark Souls, if you're playing correctly,
Yeah.
can be vanquished with less than a complete stamina bar's worth of attacks.
Not the first time you meet them though.
No, I think most of them can. I'm just like rank and file enemies, not like bosses.
Oh okay. Or Black Knight.
Obviously not bosses. Oh yeah, not Black Knights. Just regular enemies,
Yeah.
like the kind of guys that you will mow through.
Although not the first time. I mean, like the first time you ever play Dark Souls, and people are like, "You got to be careful, man, because it's a really hard game. You can't play it like other games." And you're like, "Yeah, right. I am a fucking badass." Oh my god, I keep dying.
I'm talking about skill-wise. I'm talking like resource-wise. Like even like if you just have like the basic dagger that you start with as a thief.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls 1, every one of the enemies in the critical path through to the first boss can be done with less than a complete stamina bar worth of swipes.
Right.
Right? Compare this to Skyrim,
Oh yeah.
where you will probably run out of stamina fighting rank and file enemies, and you will probably have to go through several worths of stamina bars. If you're fucking around with the fucking block and parry system, you'll end up using even more. If you want to run from combat, oh my god.
Well, yeah,
you will run out of stamina almost immediately. Running uses way too much stamina.
It does.
And so the solution for that they've proposed is we'll just put stamina potions everywhere.
Well, there's that.
Which I refuse to use out of spite, because I like spiting myself and game developers simultaneously.
Yeah. All right. That seems like a fix there, Chris.
Yeah. So stamina needs to regenerate faster.
Or
Because what does it represent? It represents like the most physical exertion you can perform in like a 5-second period.
Well,
And jogging shouldn't use as much as fighting.
well,
Fighting uses a buttload.
well, yeah. But see, my problem with it is, I honestly feel like they would need to just get rid of stamina entirely in fights, because all I end up doing in fights as a melee character, which is what I like playing, is I go in, I expend all my stamina, and then I do this sort of crazy backwards dance while I'm.
Yeah, you just serpentine backwards and run in circles to try and avoid their attacks until you have enough stamina left to hit them again.
Yeah, and then if I absolutely have to, I might roll one way.
Oh yeah, you can roll. I always forget that's an option.
Yeah, that's all I do. I'll go backward dance, crazy dance, roll, go on my stamina back, stab, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, but I think if stamina regenerates faster, then that dance will speed up.
I
Maybe
don't
less of a pill.
I don't want there to be a dance. I don't.
Well, you don't want to just swing all day.
No,
I mean,
but
the game is about combat resource management.
But I don't think it should be about combat resource management. I think it should be about you, the player, developing in a melee sense. I'm not talking about as a caster. I'm just talking about melee. You develop some sort of skill yourself. So whether that be learning the telegraphing for every move in the game so you can parry correctly, and then riposte and all that sort of stuff. I want a game where there is more realistic sword fighting.
Yeah, that game is called War of the Roses, and no you fucking don't.
Yeah, I do.
Go play Mountain Blade then.
What's Mountain Blade?
Mount and Blade.
Can I ride a dragon?
No.
Well, then I don't want to play.
Probably one of the mods. Mountain Blade is all about directional sword play. So, like, you can swing from either side, you can stab, you can whatever. And there are different blocks and parries you have to perform for each one. It's some people like it. I'm not a fan.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, I don't think that style of sword play is correct for Skyrim.
Okay.
Because it's not the kind of game it is.
All right.
I think something more Dark Soulsy with more Dark Soulsy is basically where it's not about the way you attack, it is about timing. Like Dark Souls has an omnidirectional parry move. Like it doesn't matter where they attack from, as long as they're kind of in your front arc and you press parry at the right time, you'll parry.
Yes.
I don't think there is inherent value in having to choose left or right to parry over just a generic parry move. I don't think we fix this by adding complications to it.
Okay.
If you disagree, I would love to hear your arguments.
Well, no, it's not that I disagree. It's just that I don't know if I'm necessarily expressing myself well. I'm not saying I want lots and lots of complications. I'm just saying that something a little bit more sophisticated would have been better.
I agree.
Just I'm just going to stand here or walk backwards until the green bar fills up, and then I can do a thing again.
Well, the game is actually slightly more sophisticated than that. Like attacking enemies who have their shield up is not usually a great idea until you have the perks to let you batter the shield out of the way, at which point it becomes funny. But once you are a high enough level, or if you just don't give enough of a fuck, the combat system becomes very uncomplicated, which is just you hit the attack button until you run out of stamina, then you go wait for it to regenerate.
Yeah. Well, that happened pretty quickly for me.
And that happens pretty quickly. So I think the stamina bar needs to go up faster. I think if it must be first person, okay, they need to fix power attacks. Power attacks are a disaster.
Yep.
Especially on with a gamepad, because it's very easy to be slightly off and be unable to correct.
Yeah,
in time.
it really is.
Can you cancel power? I think you can cancel them by sheathing your weapon.
Maybe. I don't remember. I gotta be honest. I don't remember.
Which kind of counts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Fuck it. Just put in Dark Souls Combat. Just put in Dark Souls Combat. It would totally work.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Souls Combat is designed to be fought on mostly flat ground.
That's true.
There isn't a huge amount of uneven terrain in that game. There is a bit.
Yeah.
But Skyrim's got... No, I think if you just put in Dark Souls Combat, it would be good.
Or
would it still be...
as much Dark Souls combat as you can.
Yeah, the problem with that is that Dark Souls Combat doesn't really work from a first-person perspective, or maybe it does. That's why Dark Souls works. Dark Souls weapon attacks always have a bit of lunge, a bit of movement on them.
That's true.
So you combine the moving forward and attacking part, whereas in Skyrim, that's the other thing. As soon as you go to swing, you stop walking.
Yeah.
You just have to stand there and swim. So
You're also
in fact,
forgetting
not even-
another integral part of the Dark Souls combat experience.
which is
When you stab someone, you feel like you're actually stabbing someone.
oh yeah, your weapon actually interpenetrates the target.
Yeah, especially, and I love
Whereas in Skyrim, it just sort of you slash at the air.
the different backstabs, like when you backstab with a polearm or an axe as opposed to a dagger.
Well, Skyrim does have that. It has the finishing animations that they
Which-
carried over from Fallout.
Which look dumb because half the time the character just falls through the ground.
Yeah, that's true. The way they ragdoll on death is also well, it's hilarious in Dark Souls as well. The best finishing animation is the unarmed backstab one, where you just like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's a suplex. You
Yeah.
grab them and just go ah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I changed my mind. That's the best part of the game. The fucking unarmed suplex is the best part of Skyrim.
And now you just need a mod to give you googly eyes whenever you're doing that. So you just like the craziest mouth breathing retard strong man in the world, going around
All right.
breaking people's ribs.
I think increased stamina regen, let you move while you're attacking,
Yeah.
and you've largely fixed Skyrim's combat.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so what other things need fixing? The skill system has a lot of problems.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna go straight to the next thing I wanted to talk about.
What was the thing you wanted to talk about?
The dragons. The dragons are ugly. The dragons.
Alright,
are
let's talk about the dragons.
The dragons are stupid. I want better looking dragons. The dragons all look like fucking drowned cats with bat wings.
Yeah, they don't look great.
They don't look like dragons.
They're all really muted colours, and they don't stand out well from the scenery.
Look, I don't know whether or not it was because of the books I read from when I was a child, but in my mind, dragons aren't shit-coloured. They look like things. Their bellies are their bellies are covered with jewelry from the hoards of gold they sit on. Their scales are iridescent in the noonday sun. None of this. I swoop down on my weird broken-armed wings and then sort of blend into the background.
Alright, that's a completely fair point. So on a presentation level, we would like the dragons to be prettier.
I would also, this isn't necessarily a problem with Skyrim, it's a problem with games with dragons in. I would also like a game where I work with a dragon.
Well, that game is called The Last Guardian, and it's not out yet.
Yeah, no, there's that. But I also want,
Also, Draken Order of the Flame,
I also want I want sort of like a dragon
which
heart.
is out and is very old.
I want sort of a dragon heart sort of theme in there.
Yeah, that's called Draken.
No, I was going to say, like, I share the powers of the dragon.
Yeah, that's Draken Order of the Flame.
Oh, can they remake that in a HD way?
It's you can totally buy it on Steam, I think.
Oh, okay. I saw a trailer for a game that looked both dumb and good at the same time last year or earlier this year. Unfortunately, it looks like an Xbox One exclusive, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get an Xbox One.
I have no desire to own an Xbone.
I'm hoping that it also comes out on Windows, if that's the case.
But anyway, what's the dealio?
I can't even remember what it's called. It just looks cool. Like there's this bit where you're running away from. You're running through the trailer has this guy running through a forest, and then he starts fighting. He gets between what looks like a dragon and this other monster, and for the first 30 seconds or so, you can't tell which one he's fighting, and then you figure out that he's working with the dragon to fight the other monster.
Ah, yes.
And they both kill it, and then all these other monsters show up, and he jumps on the back of the dragon, and then his skin changes, and he turns into like this dragon warrior. I saw that and I was just like, it's all pre-rendered, so it's not you can't play that.
The PS3 launch title where you flew a dragon?
That used the 6-axis controller.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember what.
Lair.
Lair.
It's
Okay.
called Lair.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that was your dragon game, Sean.
I want a good
Lair
dragon
was
game.
unfortunately a total disaster.
Essentially, I want someone to take the film How to Train Your Dragon and make that into a not licensed game of How to Train Your Dragon, which I've played and it's terrible. Don't play it.
Oh yeah, fucking game. We have like mounted aerial combat as well as on ground.
Yeah, so
stuff.
somewhere like make a game of the His Majesty's Dragon series.
Haven't read it, but yeah, that sounds totally right.
Yeah, Napoleonic Wars, but instead of it all being about naval superiority,
Oh,
it's about dragons.
Dragon superiority. That sounds great.
Would you not play the shit out of that game?
I would. A Napoleonic War era dragon game? Yes, I would play the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
like where you're a British naval officer who finds a dragon egg and then raises the dragon and becomes its dragon keeper, and then you help beat the French with your dragon. And the thing is, and this is why I think more books should be adapted into games, not films. The thing is, there's like 7 books in that series. You could just make a game for each book.
You could do the same with movies. I'm not sure that's an explicit argument for
No.
games over books.
I'm saying that if they wanted to have a series that went for a really long time, so they could make $100 a pop out of each one I bought, because I'd buy all 7 of them. They could make millions and millions of dollars, and they could keep it going forever. And it would be a good return on investment.
Well done, Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
Speaking of return on investment, let's talk about the skill system in Skyrim.
Okay, yeah, because it's an investment of time, and it's a very bad return.
There are some skills that should just be eliminated.
Definitely.
Lockpicking shouldn't be a skill because none of its upgrades make any fucking sense. Again, because you could just save scum your way through every... Lockpicking and pickpocketing are the 2 worst, because you can save scum your way through both of them without needing to ever level them.
You can kind of do the same thing with sneaking as well.
Yeah, kind of, but...
Not as heavily, but you can kind of do it.
Yeah, but sneaking isn't really as chance-based. There's a little more skill to it.
Yeah.
I think it's a mistake to have all the skill trees be the same size. Like, they all... I don't think they have the same number of perks, but they all cap out at, like, 90 is the number you need for the best thing.
I think so, yeah.
And some of those things are shitter than other things.
Yeah.
I think asymmetric skill trees would, like... some things could be, like, easy to master but become less useful over time. I don't know.
Like cooking?
They should... Yeah. Is cooking even in the game?
No, but it should be. Why not?
You can
it be?
cook, you can prepare food, but I don't think it's tied to a skill.
I think it should be tied to a skill. Why not? Why wouldn't it be tied to a skill?
That's an excellent point. I mean, I think it is basically the only game where your success at a task is directly tied to how much time you've invested in performing that task.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should go to a generic, you level up and everything increases by 1 system. I think that's kind of unique and cool. But they definitely need to move... I think you just need to gain skill points faster.
Yes.
Particularly in the combat skills.
Yeah.
And they need to not tie it to... remove all enemy scaling. And not tie skills to any...
Well, just have the regions that you're going to be of an appropriate level.
Yeah, that's you just level gate things by region. And you need to communicate to the player when they're in a spot that's too strong for them.
Well, they'd figure that out quickly by dying.
Which you could do if you showed enemy levels or gave numeric health bars.
Well, there's that as well. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Hey, we just solved like 8 problems at once.
That's pretty easy.
The generic level up thing where you get to choose health, magicka, or stamina.
Yeah.
I initially hated it, but I think it's disproportionately punishing compared to the skill system, which lets you retrain it at any time.
Yeah.
Whereas the level up system sort of locks you into one kind of character. Like, I only leveled magicka. I never leveled stamina or HP, and I was able to get through the game just fine. Maybe
having a starting class system would fix this. So rather than having to worry about which one you're leveling up, have an automated system where if you are the game can let me rephrase actually. Not necessarily a class system, but if it can tell that you're leaning towards more casting than melee, it automatically levels up magicka and stamina, or magicka and what's the other one? Health. Magicka and health over magicka and stamina.
Well, it could just be something as simple as like getting hurt a lot increases your health, swinging weapons a bunch it gradually increases your stamina, and casting spells a lot gradually increases your magicka.
Well, yeah, that would help as well.
The other thing I just realized when you were talking about classes is that Skyrim actually took out a fuck ton of customization that they used to have in the other games.
Well, yeah.
Like, the start of Oblivion and Morrowind are this, like, basically you're interviewed by a prison guard, and you describe yourself, and you choose all your starting attributes, your starting skills, and your star sign, which they got rid of in this and replaced with the stones.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which are not nearly as cool.
I do remember that.
And I on one level I understand why they took that out, because I think the opening of Skyrim is, despite being really boring the 4th time you've done it,
Yeah.
a lot stronger than the openings of the other game, because it
true.
actually starts with something happening instead of just you getting off a boat and then them saying, "Well, go have an adventure," if you want.
Whereas this one, oh shit, everything's on fire, quick, run away.
Yeah, but I think those additional character customization options are worth having
Yeah.
and should be included.
Oh, definitely.
The story, the generally shitty standard of writing in the entire game,
Why don't...
has no fix for other than hire better writers or give them more time.
Well, that was what I was going to say. I mean, why don't they get people who write stories professionally in to write stories professionally for them?
I think everyone who worked on this game is a professional games writer.
Well, I mean,
Sure.
I don't mean professional as in you've done it for a few years and you've been paid for it. I mean professional as in, someone who's good at it, who gets paid to do it. Because these people are obviously not good at it, even though they have done it for years.
Look, I take back what I said, the completely shitty standard of writing. I think that's a very unfair assessment. Video games writing is just a completely fucked profession. Because basically they give you 5 minutes to do it, and then they say, it's good enough. I mean, like that guy said at PAX, oftentimes they will give you a spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And just say, fill in all these squares with words. We don't care what they are, we will totally record them all. There is a tremendous amount of Skyrim writing in Skyrim, and to be fair, I think a lot of the books that you find in Skyrim are actually well done.
I've read some of them. They're actually surprisingly
they're nice
well
little
done.
things. It's just it's character writing
Yep.
and characterization that is bad,
and
also a lot of the subplots
with the characterization. Could it necessarily be about how they're written to? And this is another problem that I have with the game that we could easily fix as well. Sorry, my voice is going funny, but the voice actors are all shit, and everyone sounds like this. And oh no, my village is burning! Quickly, kill the dragons and save us.
Some of the voice actors are shit. Some of them are good. The problem is that there are far too few of them.
Well, yeah.
And sometimes the voice assignments are weird. Like there's like one guy who does the Nord accent.
Yes.
Right, and basically all the male Nords sound like that. But then you find male Nords who are voiced by someone who doesn't talk that way. You're like, why don't these obviously Nordic people speak like the other Nords?
And then you have
the accents are just all over the place.
And then you have the moments in the game where it's obviously never intended to happen, but because of the randomization of AI character voices and all that sort of stuff, you end up hearing the same person talking to themselves. That's not something that's just in Skyrim. It's actually in a number of games, and that's just
most of them by Bethesda.
Yeah, but that's a cost cutting measure. That's about
yeah, because dialogue recording is expensive, and I mean that kind of makes sense. But you just hire like 2 more guys.
Yeah, but isn't it less expensive now because more people can record shit without even having to come into a certain area? You can just be given lines, and you have a place that you go to in your house or near your house to record, and then you send those files into a person, and you just get paid for exactly how many words you said or however many minutes that you've actually recorded, not how long you spent in a booth being supervised.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not remotely. If you want to use vocal audio for games, you still need to have it done in a recording studio by someone who knows what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
But in terms of paying the actors, like Bethesda have this bizarre trend. They got Patrick Stewart for Oblivion, they got Liam Neeson for
Fallout 3,
for Fallout 3, and then they deliver like 20 lines at the start, then they're gone forever, and that's their entire voice acting budget blown on a single big name actor. They could very easily, I guarantee you, there are hundreds of aspiring voice actors who will work for fuck all just to fill out all the lines in your game.
Shit, I'd do it.
Yeah. And they might do a crappy job, but they couldn't possibly do a worse job than clearly having the same guy voicing all 5 people in a conversation.
Yeah, and
it just shatters the world.
It doesn't help that guy that they've got to do the 5 voice types that they've got sounds like someone they've pulled off the street who doesn't know what he's reading.
I think you're being really unfair to the voice actor.
Look, I like really good voice acting. I think the voice acting in Skyrim is shit. I honestly think
okay.
I think that there are maybe 2 or 3 actors in that entire game who are okay, and the rest of whoever it is voicing everything is a shit and should be fired or should go and do something else because voice acting isn't the job they should be doing.
I think the greater problem is that the characters in the game, they all have, I think they call them barks in the industry,
Right.
which is just like a line of dialogue they deliver in response to a stimulus. Like every time you walk by, everyone delivers their one line.
Yeah.
And every time you talk to someone, they deliver their one "you spoke to me" line. And like by the time you've walked through town twice and spoken to people a few times, you have heard all those lines 50 times over, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. That's very true.
If you're gonna have fucking a voice-acted game, do it slightly intelligently.
Like, only have the main characters be voiced?
Or just... The response... Sorry, the correct technique is either way more voice acting or way less.
Yeah,
Because if you...
there's
'cause
no
if you
middle
actually,
ground. There's no middle ground.
Yeah. You can either just like have a pool of 70 possible lines
Hmm.
that for say generic male Nords could deliver,
Yeah.
and just set it up so that they won't deliver the same one more than twice in a row, or they won't repeat a line until they've done like 6 other different ones,
Well, yeah.
and then you hear way less repetition. That fixes it. I mean, there's a lot of presentation stuff that could be polished.
Hell yeah.
But I think in terms of gameplay and story, I mean, the main quest sucks. You need to have characters that are with you throughout it, and they need to matter at the end in order for it to pay off. Also, oh my god, I just realized this the other day.
What?
The central conflict in Skyrim is between you and an entity that never directly harms you ever.
Who, Alduin?
Alduin.
Yeah.
Alduin never disadvantages you or hurts you or anyone you know or care about ever.
Yep.
In fact, he saves your life at the start of the game by freeing you from Helgen.
Yeah.
And the only reason you go and kill him is that you're told to.
Yeah, well, this comes back
fact-
to the whole main characters of video games actually being the villains.
No, I wouldn't say you're the villain. I mean, Alduin is bad. He is hurting other people, but you have no reason to dislike him.
Well, I think it's that whole you gotta save the world thing.
Yeah, of course. Yes, it's just taken as rote. Well, there's a threat, and you must answer it, even though you kind of don't necessarily need to.
No. I don't understand why you don't.
Or want to.
I don't understand why they don't give you the option. It's like, well, they've given me this ability to go see through time. I bet I could further it and actually step through time because, you know, I'm the biggest badass this world's ever seen. Why don't I just go back in time to where shit isn't broke and live out the rest of my life in happiness?
The fact that you have the Elder Scroll of faffing around in time and can never use it for anything is also a huge, glaring, stupid plot hole.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like weird crippled time travel, and I feel like they had real time. They had real time travel in, and they were like, no shit. If we do that, it might break the game, so we better take it back out.
The scroll has the ability to fling Alduin several centuries forward in time.
Yeah, so why couldn't you go back?
That's canonical.
Yeah.
Why can't I fling him somewhere else or whatever? Or
shuttle him sideways into a different.
I don't know. Open-ended objects of power are a problem in games, and you probably shouldn't have them because there's no satisfying way to render them in gameplay.
Well, yeah, you gotta avoid the MacGuffin.
Got to avoid the MacGuffin.
And I think that might have to be it for today.
Yep, I think we've bitched for an hour and a half about Skyrim.
Yeah, we have bitched for an hour and a half.
So this was Skyrim Cast 2, Comedy Skyrim Bronze.
Yep.
I was Chris.
And I was Skyrim.
Good Skyrim to you all.
Alright, bye-bye.